Well, it's great to be out there today. Yesterday was brutal hot. It was the hottest day in 15 years. So guys actually managed the heat well. Tomorrow, big scrimmage, last one before we have, a game in 2 weeks. So excited to see the growth of the team from last Thursday to this Thursday scrimmage. But it's been a fun camp. Today was a big red zone day. Tomorrow we'll get in there and move the ball. You see consistent play out of some players, and the biggest thing we're looking for is just the individual improvement on a daily basis, trying to get the little things, each day with different guys, and so overall it's been good.
We got scrimmage last week. Is there anything in particular you're hoping to improve from that scrimmage?
It'd take 5 hours to explain all that. Every guy on the field has areas to get better. We played in a downpour last Thursday, so that was. Hopefully we'll at least have a day without rain where we can try to run normal plays. But yeah, I want to see if we can throw and catch in the stadium. We weren't really throwing the ball a ton in the rain that day. I want to see guys finish blocks, and the biggest area is just fewer mistakes. And mental errors and things that you would expect, in your first scrimmage. And so it's the growth. People talk about growth between the first game and the second game. I'm expecting to see similar growth between the two scrimmages. Continued competition for the specialists too. You're going to see those guys kicking the stadium.
Is there an area that has maybe impressed you that stands out a little bit more?
Our defensive line play has. I knew the three older guys coming back, Savion, CJ, and Dallin. But just the legs and the freshness that we have in there right now, being able to play multiple guys, Brandon Cleveland, Noah Potter, Red, Hibbler, Isaiah Shirley. There's a good rotation in there, and there's a lot of production. So it's been an area we've been really excited about. I think, the linebacking core, there's a lot of eyes on that with losing two starters, and it's been fun to see Jalen Scott and Devin Betty and Caden Fordham emerge and get opportunities in there. And one of the young linebackers, Camille Bonner's had a good camp as well.
Has either Braden or Colin solidified the kicking spot?
Not yet. We'll probably have a real good feel after tomorrow. They're all doing well.
How do you feel about the overall depth?
It depends on the day, Right now it's pretty good, but it's a day-to-day thing. There's good competitive depth on our roster. There's good young players developing at the same time. So we still got 2 weeks. So hopefully we can kind of stay in the same place. Most of the things we're dealing with are very minor.
Since we last talked to you, everything seemed to change with conferences. What has it been like from your perspective to watch what's happened around you?
Yeah, I'm just trying to do the best I can where I'm at, and NC State's in a good place, and so love the fact that our conference has stayed, kind of what it is, and people haven't left. I know there's a lot of chatter and different things like that, but this time of year it's really hard as a coach to spend all your time thinking about things that are out of your control. So, from a naturalist standpoint, it's disappointing to see some traditional rivalries break up in college football. I don't like that. I think a lot of people probably feel the same way. You're losing hundreds of years of interstate rivalries in some cases, and I was a part of that when I was at Kansas, and Kansas-Missouri game stopped, and that was tough. As a native to that state, to see that no longer existed, and we're seeing it in other conferences as well. So, I don't think that's good for any sport, especially the one we're in.
We spoke to Jalen Scott last week just about him, sticking it out here. He praised Coach Gibson just for sticking by him. What does it say about him?
Yeah, I think in today's world, there's so many exits that guys can take, easy ways to avoid adversity and move on with your life. And in Jalen's case, he's grown up a ton here. We're so proud of the man he's becoming and what he's done. It's not easy sitting behind players, but for him, the personal growth, person he's became through all that adversity has really helped him. And so we're excited for him, and he's playing really well.
You picked up some good commits over the last week. What's the significance of keeping some of these kids in state, considering NIL and the portal?
Not sure what you mean by the last comment. Kids that are in NIL.
Well, in terms of what they may be looking for off the field and opportunities like that.
I have no idea what you mean by that. We're excited about recruiting. I can't comment on the guys, but things are good, and in-state has always been, something that we try to do. We want our young men in the state of North Carolina to stay home. We want them to play for us. We want them to feel like they're that kind of player, and it's helpful for their families. They get to be close by and be a part of the experience with them. It's helpful for the young men. They get time off. They can go home and be around their siblings if they have them, their grandparents, and so I think part of that, for us was a huge, huge push when I first got here. I think the roster was less than half in-state. Now it's closer to 70%. So it's something that we take a lot of pride in.